Hi there bivvy brothers and swim sisters, my name's Gareth, my friends call me G. I don't own a large fishing tackle shop, nor do I run a prolific fishery. Just like you folks, I want to catch carp. So I sat there carp fishing one day, thinking wouldn't it be great to have your own carp fishing shed? And I came up with a concept. This is the concept. How important is local knowledge as opposed to good watercraft skills? You know, you go to a venue, pick a swim, have a walk round, have a chat to the locals. They'll tell you whatever they want to tell you. Unless you know that person, you're not 100% sure whether they're telling you the truth or lying to you. I don't know about you folks, but I've met some proper Rodneys in my time around the waterside. Sort of folks that you wouldn't trust the time if you read it off their wristwatch, let alone where you're going to put your bait, in what swim. And then there's those folks that they want to keep everything a secret. It's my secret bait this, top secret bait that. Okay, great. They're not as bad as the ones that lie to you. They know what they're talking about and they're catching the fish. Yeah, you can see them catching them on the other side. You go around and have a little chat and they tell you you're a load of garbage. So that's when I came up with this concept, the tall tale. I'm going to visit lots of different venues, speak to the people at the side of the bank, talk to the head bailiff, tell him to either tell me the truth or tell me a lie. And then we're going to go off and fish and see what difference it makes. Today's a bit of a pilot, doing a bit of a tester as it were. So let's see what happens throughout the next 3 days. The fishery management team, Big Dan Smith here, and he's about to give me my truth or lie information. So come on Peg 1 Dan, what you got to tell me about it?
Well, anything you want to know really. I'll tell you where to go off, best spots to try, bit some going bait at the moment, what's been fishing well.
Yeah.
Where would you like to start?
Well, start with bait then. What do you recommend I use?
Well, what's been pulling some fish at just over the last few weeks is a bait called Deep Spice.
Yeah.
And it's done by a lad called Lee Gonzalez from Trusty Baits in Doncaster.
Right, okay.
It's a really spicy, fishy aroma to it. It's a nice dark bait.
Right.
It's done really, really well for a couple of members on it.
So if I can mimic a dark bait that's spicy and fishy. Yeah, okay, yeah.
And another bait what's done well on here is like a crab variant.
Okay.
Nice reddy colour.
Some sort of crustacean, yeah. Alright then, and what have they been presented on?
Well, the one at lads, he fishes snowman rigs all the time, on like a little D, with a little bit of a combi link to it.
Right, okay.
One of the lads who's been catching 1 or 2 fish straight through to a single bait.
Right.
Either solid bags with pellets or little sticks with whatever variations. So some lads like to use like this plain mix to it with just a little bit of glow. Some lads use a really fishy fish meal kind of.
Okay.
Little sticks to it.
And what do you use?
Me, personally?
Yeah.
Well, I like the free bait, free offerings, boilies and just fish choddies on the top.
Right, okay.
Tall ones, I like my tall chods.
Tall choddy, just over the top of free bait.
With various hook baits like a pineapple or pink pepper, something like that on the top.
Right, okay. And whereabouts should I be putting them in my Peg 1 then?
Well, if you look out of Peg 1,
yep.
If you look towards far bank, you'll see a sign what we've temporarily put up.
Yep.
I'll be looking probably halfway across.
Halfway across towards that wooden sign.
Yeah.
Okay. All of them?
No, I put one out towards the signpost, and then if you look further down the lake, you'll see the corner.
Yep.
The far corner, where the cliff is. I put one, just a big chuck out there. Again, so everyone's different what they chuck. And you're probably looking round about 10-11 foot of water out there.
Right, okay.
Again, if you want to if you've got a bait boat, put some bait out there, or just put free offerings near a stick, something like that.
Right,
okay. And then your third rod, if you look at the side, you'll see the little bay. On the edge of the bay where it joins to go down the lake, there's like an overhanging holly bush.
Yeah.
Probably about 10 foot off that.
Right, okie dokie. That's my 3 swims then, so I'll be hitting those later. Thanks very much, Dan.
No problem, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Well.
Right, well, Dan's just left me. Left me pondering that information he's given me. Is it true, is it false? Who knows? Only time will tell, I guess. I've got no reason to disbelieve him to start off with, so I'm going to take his advice. I'm going to use a dark red, browny, fishy, spicy bait, and I'm going to put a large particle bed down over towards that wooden post and fish 2 rods out there. I think I'll put signal baits, squid and orange, on both the rods. Popped up probably a little bit with a little white pop-up on the top, and on one of those I'm going to experiment with my new glug that I'm making, so we'll see how that works out. It's a bit bright, isn't it, eh? And then on the 3rd rod, yeah, around the corner into that little lagoon, deep lagoon. It does sound quite nice. The wind is blowing this way, so it might push the fish in there. So yeah, what the hell, why not? I'll give that a blast as well. I made some BLT boilies up there, a nice dark red colour. I'll give them a blast around there, probably fish with some particles, maybe some pellet, not sure. We'll see what the mood takes me when I get everything out. So that's that for now. Back to you when something's happening. Right, well, areas are baited, rods in the water. I am fishing. I've got 2 rods out towards that wooden post, and they're on signal bait of squid and orange. One of them I've glugged with my own little special glug, and the one on the left, that's around the corner in the lagoon. That's on one of my BLT boilies, fished with some pellets. Nice mixture of different pellets around there. So, you know, it's the waiting game now. I've done my part. Over to the carp. Well, I've got to say I'm excited. Very few people have fished this water yet. There's supposed to be over 1,000 carp in here, ranging in size. You know, baby ones up to mid-20s. There's the rumours of 30-pounder in here somewhere as well. So that'd be nice if I caught that. But settle for a 2-pounder at the moment, just to get the one on the bank. It's going to be a nice little fishery when they've sorted all of this out. It's still very raw at the moment. It's still like a hole in the ground, but I'm sure Dan's going to do quite a lot of good stuff with this. It'll be nice for us to keep a track on it as it's going through, see how they develop it as they're going along. But you know, that's a different project. Anyway, my rods have been in the water for about an hour now. I have one bleep on the right hand rod. It could have been a line bite, but it's just been everything settling. Just sit and wait. It's a nice day, sunny, bit of a breeze. It's blowing straight at me at the moment. Hopefully pushing all that food into the lagoon on my left hand side, that left hand rod. Let's get the kettle on. Hi guys, I've got about an hour of the first day left. Nothing much to report really, no fish banked yet. I've had a couple of beeps on my left hand rod down in the deep hole, but nothing to show for that just yet. I've paid my dues though, and I've done my watercraft, and my bait's all prepared, and I know everything's sat nicely on the bottom. So hopefully with a little bit of luck later this evening we should end up with a fish on the bank, and you guys get to see me in the morning. So until something exciting happens, I'll see you guys later. The last hours of Friday evening ebbed away, and everything was quiet. All rods remained dormant, all traps set, waiting to strike. The wind dropped, and the pit became as calm as a mill pond. As the early hours of Saturday morning ticked by, I was awoken by that sound that every carp angler loves. My left-hand buzzer screamed into action, and that rod developed a fish. This was the rod that was fished into the deep lagoon on a popped-up CC Moore's Meteor boilie, fed with free offerings of various pellets and my own BLT boilies. It's quite a bizarre-looking creature when we got it on the bank, battle-scarred and perhaps carrying an infection. So we called Dan the bailiff down, who was fishing further up the lake, to come and have a look at it. He made the decision to treat the fish and return it back to the water. After that, there was nothing else until Saturday. Right then, new battle plans have been drawn and we have made some changes. We were fishing little snowman like that, the squid and orange, and then a homemade cell pop-up on top. Okay, that's gone now. We've made some changes. Fishing a little dynamite stick, we still got our squid and orange boilie. Then on the bottom of this one, got one of these ABC banana and pineapple luminous yellow pop-ups. Hopefully that should bring a bit more attention to our bait. And fished on the same patch of particles, exactly the same layout, little stick with some micro pellets in, squid and orange boilie, and then on the end of that one, Dayglow green lip mussel pop-up from the same company, ABC. Well, it's around 12 o'clock on day 2 and Craig's into a fish on the far bank. Try and zoom in with the camera and see what we can get from here, and we'll shoot round when he's got it on the bank. Well done, mate. Alright, so it's about lunchtime on day 2. Craig's just had a nice fish, nice plonker, somewhere between 14 and 16 pounds. I'm sure you'll see that on his video footage shortly. I got some of it from over on my bank, but it's time for me to just rebait my left hand rod. The rod that got me the fish last night was a bit scarred up. All we've got on is a nice little stick, meteor boilie, and a little bit of foam. Make sure it doesn't tangle on the cast. So let's get this bad boy in the water and catch some fish. I didn't have to wait long before I made the treacherous run down the stairs to hit into a fish on rod 3, fished out onto the particle bed with the signal bait squid and orange boilie, glubbed with my very own squid and orange slobber. My second fish of the session put up a good fight, stripping line for around 10 minutes, till eventually it was defeated in the net and on the cradle. This lovely bar of gold weighed in at 12 pounds 4 ounces. It was the first fish off the baited particle area out in front of me, opposite the sign on the far bank, so hopefully more fish would show in that area soon. Hi folks, thought I'd take this opportunity to show you what I've got on 2 out of 3 of my rods. These lovely 16mm squid and orange boilies from Signal Baits, a great freezer bait, lovely and moist, break down in the water and give off a massive scent trail, something that the carp can home in and find from miles around. All being well, it should bag me a big one later this evening. The only
fishing gods and time can tell.
The magic glug. Even they go like mad here.
Oh, yeah, I've seen them.
They go like mad in here. Pushing them up this end and all huffing and puffing, pushing them barrows around, Carl.
I didn't pump this, you have to steady loads.
It's only a babby, get it in.
Yeah. Turn off the cameras on it. You know what, it's fucking going, isn't it?
Oh, they go like mad. See, hang on in here, even smaller than the nuts. Yeah. And when you're up around 20 in here, they fly up. You will come down and take pictures if you want.
I had some divers in from, I think, and they went, one bloke went to Neil, didn't see like what on it.
Nice and that, G. In good nick and all.
Got some fighting, haven't they?
That's a nice fish, that, G. What I'd call netty then.
They don't want to come in, do they?
No, they don't scrap like that.
What's that, all right, £9, £10?
No, that'll be a bit bigger than that.
Yeah?
Martin had a 23 and a few months ago, and I saw it yesterday. It's sat on the surface down there.
Yeah?
Probably about the same size, I think. To treat that redness there.
Yeah, just get a little quick clean, mate. Get a treat. Just have a look.
Beautiful fish out.
The snaps were gorgeous markings in here, them colours are gorgeous. I'll get one of them. Time all that with it.
Fucking power in there. Yeah, I've been picking.
Can't smile, you know, but it has to take pictures. What was it? Yeah, it was. It'll have a minute and then it'll be away. There she goes. Gone.
Hi guys, it's just gone 1 o'clock. Got the third fish on the bank. Got 3 lovely mirrors, 12, 13 and 14 pound. Slowly getting bigger. All being well tonight. We should be getting the magic 20 pound markers. All been coming on my little squid and orange goo. Been putting that into bags fished with signal bait squid and orange boilies. And yeah, been smashing them. Last one, rod had only been in the water 10 minutes. And Bosch produced a £13 12-ounce mirror. Great little fish. Crack back on though, but I don't want to lose any more time and catch me some more big ones. Right, I just got the rod back in from fish number 3. Sat down in the bivvy thinking time to get the kettle on, and the right hand rod screamed off from down the margin on a pineapple and butric popped up boilie, and bagged myself this lovely little £8.5 mirror. Yep. There we go, look at that little bar of gold. Yeah, it looks the see me either side. Here we go, £8.5 worth of loveliness. I didn't think I was pulling a face. Gone. Oh, let's get some more. Well, that's fish number 4 on the bank. £8.5 mirror carp. Taken off the right hand rod to a popped up pineapple and nutrient boiling. It was popped up with a ABC's pineapple and banana pop up. Very effective. They've been on the rod out on the particled areas as well with my plug on it. That's done 2 fish in the space of about 20 minutes, one after the other. So yeah, all things looking up. I'm glad I stayed where I am. Dan was trying to get me to move down the bottom end and fish into this wind. But I'm glad I've stuck to my guns. It's feeling carpy up here. It's nice and warm, the sun's really thrashing down on the water, so hopefully some of the big ones should move up here to get a bit of a warm up. Why not grab some food while they're up here, eh? All being well, eh?
You have to pick it up and go down. Told you they go pretty well in here, don't matter what size they are, mate. Oh, you're homemade? Alright, yeah.
Thank you, my man. Right, well, I was in the middle of swapping batteries and downloading the footage off the camera cards onto the laptop, trying to free up some space, when rod number 3 screamed off. Developed me a nice £16 linear mirror. Because of that, I've made the decision to put rod number 2 on the glug as well. Both 2 and 3 have been fished out on signal baits, squid and orange boilie. Popped up in different ways, one with a pineapple and banana pop up and the other with a green lip mussel pop up. But the main consistency between the two, rod 3 is being glugged all the time and rod 2 hasn't, and it's this stuff that I've been putting on it. Illuminous orange Super Glug. So far it's done, what, 4 out of my 5 fish. Yay me. So that's on rod number 2 now, that's been put back out literally just. And the time is 20 to 5. So I'll get back to you when something's happened. Well, fish 6 just got away with it. Rod 1 just bent round, a little bit of a screaming run. Before I could get to the bottom of the stairs, dead. Done me. Not snagged me up or anything, just ditched the hook. So, 1 to the fish. Still 5 to me though. This little baby was hooked on rod 1 on the CC Moors popped up Meteor Boilie. Fished out into the lagoon on my left hand side. And although it's not the biggest fish in the lake, it became my fish number 6. Right, well, rod 1 has developed 3 runs. 2 fish landed off that rod. I'm really pleased about that. I've worked really hard to get that spot down on my left operational, and it's paying off. Well, the fish were down the bottom end of the lake yesterday, and what with the trickling of the bait in and some nice smelly goodness, I've managed to bring them my way. So I'm going to keep the bait going in, I'm going to get my rod back out, and all being well, I'm going to bash through these little ones and get into some proper clonkers later. I'll get back to you if I've got anything else to report. Rod 2 screamed away about an hour after I'd made the decision to cover it with slobber. I was really pleased. Both rods 2 and 3 had been fishing off the same patch of particles, and rod 2 had been pretty much dormant whilst rod 3 had been taking fish quite consistently. The fact that once I'd covered it in slobber then developed me this lovely 9.5 pound fish was really pleasing. Rod 2 produced the last fish of the day for me. I didn't mind too much. That fish was caught as a direct result of me putting slobber onto the bait, and that pleased me, reassured me that I'm onto something, and kept me steadfast in persevering to produce something quite special. Whilst I saw no further fish that evening, Craig did manage to bank himself another nice mid-double. Unfortunately his cameras didn't work, so we have no footage of that. I was up early the next morning, thought I'd put out a static camera next to the rods to see if I could capture any action, and within about 10 minutes I had a run. Morning, it's just gone 6 in the morning. Rod number 1's just screamed off on one of the Meteor popped up boilies. Let's have a look what we've got to show you here then. Check out this bad boy. Ah! 16 pound 2 ounce. Look at that. Beautiful. Bright fight as well. 16 pound 2 ounce. 6 o'clock. Morning 3. Well, it's the morning of day 3. It's just gone 6 o'clock. Just put back that 16 pound fish. That's a nice way to get woke up, that is. Screaming run. I even remembered to get my coat on this time, which makes a change for me. Normally running out there in t-shirts, fighting a fish freezing to death. So yay me, remember my coat. Only got a few hours left of the day. I'm going to be leaving about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock-ish at the latest. So so it don't give us long left to catch some more fish at all. Better get on with it. Right, well, third rod's just gone. That was fished on signals squid and orange boilie. Popped up with ABC's pineapple and banana pop-up in 10mm, fluoro yellow colour. And that is fish number 5 off that rod, for 9 fish in total. This one weighs 9.5 pounds. And it's a bit of a Nelson. It's got one eye. See one eye on that side? And on this side. Steady, Nelson, steady. No eye. That's how they lost that when it was little, or it was born with a bit of a defect. But it's not stopped it chucking on 9.5 pounds. It was hooked in that side of the jaw though, so a little bit of an advantage to me there. Just rebaiting the rod after that little 9.5 pounder. This is what's been doing all the damage. We've got signals squid and orange, ABC's pineapple and banana pop-up. They complement each other perfectly. The weight of the squid and orange perfectly just floats that down to the bottom, and then they sit on the bottom like that, just bobbing around. That gets loaded through little stick, gosh, cast out onto the lake bed. Like that. Okay. And that dissolves us in a tiny little piece of netting. So that little bit of netting will go first. That will then lift up the hook, dissolve, fall off, and everything will reset. It's tied onto about 7 inches of dark mantis. The bottom end's been stripped to give the flexibility around the hook, but I haven't stripped the top end because I want to aid in that sort of boom, pushing everything out to help that along. Put those clear booms on over the top of that. So now if any fish does come along, pick it up and get away with it the first time, the rig should reset itself and be presented nicely for this next one that comes along. And what I've been doing is getting the old magic fluoro glug out, and then where the break comes out the top of my stick, picking in the nozzle, pushing it through the PVA, giving it a right good squeeze. You should see it oozing into all the particles of your stick, just filling up the edges. Just starting to use out the net on the side. You can feel it all expanding in your fingers as you're doing it. And every something like that, look. Put a nice blob of this stuff. Texture to it, just sticks onto all your bait. Right, let's get this back in the water and catch us a 20. Well, that little fish turned out to be the last of our little trip, but for us our little pilot had been a success. It had taught us many things about the filming of what we were doing. First and foremost, to make sure that all your camera equipment is working properly. Craig's cameras were malfunctioning and didn't record any of his footage, so we have no video footage from his little escapade. Secondly, no matter how little wind there seems to be outside, always use the external mics. When we were using the cameras without external mics, they seem to pick up the wind tremendously, and it's horrible when we've played it back through the video. So apologies for that, and corrections will be made when we start making this properly. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. There it is. Gateway to the fishing gods. Save me a peg, fellas.